I've been asked a few times before if there are any sins that I still struggle with. And that question always kind of throws me off. Even though I do understand what people mean when they ask it, they're wanting to know, like, if there's anything that I do that that I know doesn't please God, you know, but I haven't been able to shake yet or whatever. And it's like, to me, I don't care if you stopped cussing, lying, stealing, getting drunk, getting high, sleeping around, but your heart's still ugly, you know? I don't care if you out spreading the gospel, you got child of God in your bio, but you're mean, you're rude, you're a manipulator, or you push people's buttons purposely. It's like, you ever met an attractive person and you start talking to them and what's on the inside starts to come out, and then you're like, ew. Sometimes people are looking for what they think to be these greater sins, sin that can be seen. But just because someone gave up a few bad habits doesn't mean that they don't have pride in their heart, or envy, or jealousy, or hate, or anger. It really doesn't mean that they even have a heart for Christ. I've met people who are doped up crying out to God. People that others would look down upon and see as unholy. There are people in church every Sunday spreading the gospel, going out evangelizing, but are far from the heart of God. We look at what we see or can't see, and we judge based off of that. God sees the inside of a heart. He sees when a humble person cries out to him because they've come to the end of themselves. They don't want to try to get it right anymore. They see that they need him. They yearn for deliverance and restoration. And he sees the prideful who think they have it all together, who act like they have it all together, who think that they're holy and righteous based off of their good works or what they do or don't do. The Message translation of Jeremiah 17:9-10 is worded so beautifully to me. It says, the heart is hopelessly dark and deceitful. It's like a puzzle that nobody can figure out. But I, God, search the heart and examine the mind. I get to the heart of the human. I get to the root of things. I treat them as they really are and not as they pretend to be. It's like when God sent Samuel to anoint a king, and as soon as Samuel saw David's brother, he's like, oh yeah, this is him. Like, this must be him because this looks like somebody that God would choose. He was judging based off of what he saw. And God says to Samuel, looks aren't everything. Don't be impressed with his looks and his stature. I've already eliminated him. Like, he literally says, I didn't choose him. I already eliminated him. He may look good, but he's not the one. God judges people differently than humans do. Men and women look at the face. God looks into the heart. David's own father counted him out and didn't even mention him because he didn't look the part. And Samuel's like, look, you've shown me all your sons and none of them are the one that God chooses. So there's got to be another one because God sent me here. And David's father is like, well, there's the runt. Like, he's out there tending to the sheep. So he sends for him. David comes in and God says, anoint him. This is the one. Samuel takes the oil, anoints David in the presence of his father and his brothers, all of these people who counted him out. The Spirit of God enters David like a rush of wind. So it's safe to say that God chooses the underdogs, the ones that are looked down upon, the ones that may not seem special to anyone else. Be careful how you treat people. Be careful not to place wrongful judgment. Know the difference between righteous judgment and your own judgment. because your judgment is tainted. We can even really look at Jesus as well. Like, it was so hard for people to believe that he was the Messiah because of what he looked like and where he came from. They're like, what? Like, nothing good has ever came out of Nazareth. Like, his mother and father are Mary and Joseph. Like, they're nobodies. They're nobody special. This couldn't be. Like, they were looking at Jesus naturally. They were looking at the natural man, but they couldn't see his spirit. I'm going to end with a passage from Luke 13 from the Passion Translation. It says, "There is a great cost for anyone to enter through the narrow doorway into God's kingdom. I tell you, many will want to enter but won't be able to. Once the head of the house has shut and locked the door, it will be too late. Even if you stand outside knocking, begging to enter and saying, 'Lord, Lord, open the door for us,' he will say to you, 'I don't know who you are. You are not a part of my family.' Then you will reply, 'But Lord, we dined with you and walked with you as you taught us.' And he will reply, 'Don't you understand? I don't know who you are, for you are not a part of my family. I will not let you in. Now go away from me, for you are all disloyal to me and do evil.' You will see people streaming from the four corners of the earth, accepting the invitation to feast in God's kingdom realm, while you are outside looking in. And take note of this. Some are despised and viewed as the least important now, but one day the Master will place them at the head of the line. And some whom you view as elite today will become the least important then." I'm not even going to front. That's kind of scary for some people. No, that's really scary. Yeah, that's something to think about.